Hello dear Sprouts. So I got a comment from a dear Sprout on my last video on character design and thought maybe I should make a video on it for anyone else who has this to ask. So Nom says, thanks for the tip. I'm quite stuck on a character I'm making. I don't know what character to draw actually. I just need more OCs to touch in my future videos. Thank you very much for asking me, dear Nom, and I will answer your question right now. So one very important thing to keep in mind throughout your planning is that this person should be well-rounded enough so as to have them fit within your world and theirs, regardless of if they have something like magical abilities or are otherwise non-human. The easiest way to build a character, in my personal opinion, is to think of their personality and their reactions. How do they socialize? How do they react to things? The like. One activity to try this out is to imagine you're meeting your character for the first time at a restaurant and you're both going to get some lunch together. How do they greet you? Do they greet you with open arms, or do they greet you with trepidation, with hesitance, with anxiety? Do they make conversation with little breathing room, like are they very chatty? Or do they prefer to listen to you speak? How do they deal with such things as getting the wrong order at the restaurant? Do they endure the embarrassment of telling the waiter and instead eat someone else's meal in fear of confrontation? Or do they complain with such a manner that even the most well-composed staff member will be brought to tears? While you and your character eat your hypothetical meal, there must be some conversation that comes up. Do they make small talk? Do they go straight into deep and meaningful questions? Or do they just eat in silence? When you ask something about them, do they very proudly state it as if it's a bragging right? Or do they state it with hesitation and caution? Another tip is to make sure to give your character traits that are considered flaws too. Maybe they're loud and chatty but highly argumentative. Maybe they're shy and creative but pessimistic and cynical. Maybe they prefer the company of books and animals to people and may come across as cold and aloof. To put it bluntly, do not make your character perfect. Perfection is the death of creativity and dynamics. Okay? Okay. So how does this apply to an existing character? Let's use Alice from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland as an example of a character with very good balance of positive and negative traits. Alice's positive traits are that she is a very curious child with a love of learning about the world around her. She is portrayed throughout as being logical and intelligent and having a firm belief that the world is easily defined by set rules and reason. However, there is a downside. As a result of her set rules, she may come across as very stubborn, blunt, or rude when something does not follow her ideas of logic. Especially so when she's in Wonderland, where those rules are being called into question almost constantly. Her beliefs are so firmly rooted in that Wonderland's upheaval of what is logical causes Alice to have a perpetual existential crisis throughout the book. Like with Alice, character traits can be complementary to each other, such as being firm but stubborn in one's beliefs. Or they can be contradictory, such as being willing to learn but unwilling to let go of things previously learned. It really comes down to how you see people, how do you learn about people, what sort of things you find out about people the moment you meet them, and how you want to apply that sort of philosophy to your character. So, let me ask you this again to start you off on your character building journey. Do you see this character as someone dynamic enough for you to exist in your world? Once you feel that your character has a solid enough personality, you can start on designing them. This may be a bit of back and forth endeavor. Maybe their design starts influencing their personality, or vice versa. Or you could put that on its head and have the design be a complete contradiction to their personality. Either way, you have made yourself a nice little base to start making a character for yourself. I hope this answered your question, dear Nom. Thank you once again for asking, and I really appreciate it. Oh, almost forgot. To answer the last part of your question, I have a Discord server called Sprout Hangout, where you can post something from my tutorials in a channel called Tutorial Results. I will link the server in the description, and I hope you can join in on the fun. But otherwise, anyone else who's watching who has a Twitter can contact me at Verdant VT. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!